For NFL teams, the time window to reach the ultimate prize, an NFL championship, is a short one. The Atlanta Falcons came 1/4 of Super Bowl football away from capturing that prize 2 seasons ago. Haunted by their missed opportunity, they began last season with high aspirations, but underperformance and injuries shattered their dream of returning to the NFL's ultimate stage. This Falcons offseason has brought forth incredible changes throughout the organization. A deeper roster, new players, new coaches, and an abundance of rededication. Atlanta's window of opportunity has not closed, but it is narrowing. And now is their time to get things right. The Falcons have exactly 1 month before the NFL regular season begins. And in the words of their head coach, Dan Quinn, we have a lot to prove. Week 1 of the 2019 preseason football schedule begins here in Miami for your Atlanta Falcons, as these Falcons get set to take the field and take on the Miami Dolphins. Hello, everybody. I am Justin Kutcher. Well, this Falcons team, there seems to be a sense of urgency around them. Coming off of last year's 7-9 season, obviously it was disappointing. And many people know there's about a 3 to 5 year window to capture a championship. That window is now closing. But if you think back to last year, one of the great positives was the offense. As we talk offense, let's bring in a defensive guy in Coy Wire. And Coy, that offense last year, despite injuries on the other side of the ball, was still great.
Matt Ryan was incredible. That's what makes this offense go. We won't see him tonight. You don't want your starting quarterback planting his foot in this wet field, but when he is ready to go, he's surrounded by perhaps the most talented set of skilled position players on the planet, and the O-line issues from a year ago addressed. They brought in a fleet of free agents and first rounders. We could be hearing chance of MVP once again in the ATL.
That would be the second for Matt Ryan, of course. Let's talk defense. Last year, they were marred by injuries. They're expecting to get those guys back as we get ready for the season.
Yeah, healthy, hungry. Are they going to be able to get a pass rush this year? I think that's what a lot of fans want to know. They have the proven in Grady Jarrett, developed in one of the premier interior linemen in the league. Tack McKinley is a star on the rise, could have a monster year. And Vic Beasley, the organization, fans want to know, does he still have some of the magic and hunger he showed from a few years ago when he led the league in sacks?
All right, time now for the Home Depot tools of the game. You brushed on this offensively. A lot of new faces on that offensive line.
And bigger faces. They got some heft up there. It will help the run game, which they need to establish the play action.
And as far as special teams, a question mark, who will be the returners for the Falcons? Speaking of question marks, there are a lot of new coaches for this Falcons team. Let's welcome in the newest member of our team, Jen Hale.
Justin, indeed, so many changes for this Falcons coaching staff after Atlanta said goodbye to all 3 coordinators last season after that disappointing end. Now in this 2019 restart, head coach Dan Quinn is taking over the role as defensive coordinator. Dirk Cutter, former head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks, he's in charge of the offense. And Ben Kutwika, Quinn's old friend from New York, he is taking over as special teams coordinator. Of course, you also have Mike Mularkey and Ben Sutton on the coaching staff. A lot of egos, a lot of strong personalities to mix. What's the key? Well, all of these coaches, including Quinn, say they put those egos aside, focus on their individual jobs, and have one goal in mind, Justin, and that is winning.
Jen, it's like putting our egos aside. Coy, you, me, DJ Shockley, who's coming up on the other side of the break as we kick off this 2019 preseason.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football is presented by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing, and sponsored in part by Bud Light, brewed for the dirty birds, and by AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing.
And we are back here in Miami getting set for game 1 of this preseason. Let's go down for the Equifax Sideline Report with DJ Shockley.
All right, Q, all the talk this offseason has been about you taking over the defensive play calls. How has that transition been for you, and how has that role changed for you in game?
Right, well, number one, it's gone well, and I'd only be able to do that if you had the assistance on the offensive side. So guys like Dirk and Mike and Ra allow me to, just kind of devote a good bit of the planning and prep time on the defensive side. In game, it's a lot the same with the exception when the defense is on the field. And so through the week, those guys are, there for the calls, and that's where I can make an impact. Once the offense has the ball again, I'm kind of going back to the same spot. So the transition's been good for me.
All right, Q, well, have a good one tonight, man. Let's get you guys safe. Let's go. Good one. All right, Justin, Coy, back to you guys. Let's play ball.
All right, Shock, thank you so much. I'll look at the temperature here in, Miami Gardens, 79 degrees. We had some rain earlier. That's a big reason why we think Matt Ryan's not playing. 50% chance of precipitation, but that's pretty much par for the course when you're here in South Florida. Miami, they won the toss. They will receive. Kicking off, Giorgio Tavecchio here for the Falcons. Isaiah Ford is back deep for Miami. Yes, the Falcons played in the Hall of Fame game last week, but this is the official start of the 2019 preseason. And we are off with a kick from Tavecchio. Taken by Ford. And Ford takes it just beyond the 20 as he tackled by Sherrod Niesman. Let's take a look at our SunTrust players to watch defensively, Coy.
Takk McKinley's a guy who Dan Quinn has raved about, thinks he may have the most impact on this team from a defensive standpoint this season. Kaminsky, rookie, small school in college. Can he transition to the next level? He looked really good last week.
There was a look at Vic Beasley. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick under center here for the Dolphins. First down, the handoff to Kenyon Drake, and Drake gets tripped up by Damontae Kazee. Damontae Kazee, who last year had 7 interceptions, tied for the NFL league lead. It was an 8-yard run by Drake, so 2nd and 2 here for Miami. They'll give it to Drake again, and Drake gets hit by Takk McKinley, one of those guys you just talked about.
And you see the physical nature of play that he brings to this defense. This is the type of person that elevates the play of everyone around him. When you make tackles like that, you could hear it all the way up here in the press box. Watch this.
Takk McKinley, the first rounder a few years ago out of UCLA. They're hoping he's a difference maker. Him with Grady Jarrett, and as you talked about in the open, will Vic Beasley of 2016 show up this year? Fitzpatrick on 3rd and 2. Pressure coming. He steps up. Fitzpatrick's going to slide. And he should have the first down.
He got some good pressure off the edges on this pass play, but the interior lineman widened out. There was a huge running lane, as you can see. There's no one there to force Fitzpatrick to stay in the pocket. Veteran quarterback seeing an easy gain and takes it.
Dan Quinn, as we heard from DJ Shockley, and obviously a big storyline. He is the defensive coordinator now for this Falcons team. A great defensive mind is Coach Quinn. Fitzpatrick, his first pass of the game, and that is complete to Mike Gesicki. That was a 2nd-round pick for the Dolphins out of Penn State this year.
Quick slant route, able to get inside Bleeding Ray Wilson, who was in coverage that time. Fitzpatrick, veteran quarterback, seeing that the DB was off and would have that open window.
2nd down and 4. Drake is back into the backfield here for Miami. Fitzpatrick pressure, able to escape on the run, throws and completes the pass to Devontae Parker. Again, pressure applied here by this Falcons defense, but they just couldn't get to him.
There's a breakdown in the blocking scheme, so Jack Crawford had an easy run at the quarterback. Takk McKinley didn't stay in his upfield shoulder. That enabled him to get around the corner and escape that pressure.
Turns into a 14-yard gain here for Miami, opening drive of the ball game. And the handoff straight up the middle to Drake. He's met there at the line. Tack McKinley there again, his second tackle already.
Crawford and the new acquisition Tyler Davison there in the front. They're doing a great job of being stout in the run game, not getting blown off the ball. That's enabling those guys off the edge to be able to make some plays because the running back having to tiptoe a bit in the backfield.
Second down and 10, empty backfield now here for Miami. Fitzpatrick to the sideline, and here comes a late flag. Isaiah Oliver was there on the coverage. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver. Our referee tonight, Scott Novak.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
Oliver panicked a bit there. You'll see him get a grab right there on that shoulder, lifting the shoulder pad up. Vic Beasley actually did a heck of a job of pressuring Fitzpatrick on that. Got his hands up in his face, forcing that errant throw.
And now it's 1st and 10 from the 35.
Watch the defensive line. They're really getting some good pressure here. Penetration.
Drake cuts it back. And he just gets circled, surrounded. Austin Larkin was there for the tackle. Larkin signed as a free agent. Went to Purdue. After a 4-yard pickup, second down and 6. Fitzpatrick over the middle, that's incomplete. And that pass intended for Gesicki, who caught a pass earlier. 3rd and 6 coming up. And I know it's the preseason, but we've talked about the defense. We talked about Dan Quinn taking over as a defensive coordinator. If you can come up with a stop right now, it's got to give you some good feelings, because this offense has been able to move the ball down the field, and now you'd force him into a field goal situation. On 3rd and 6, Fitzpatrick, he gets taken down. Sacked there by Austin Larkin, who just made the previous tackle.
They're getting some outstanding pressure up front. You can see Fitzpatrick's not able to set his feet. He doesn't know where he's going to try to throw this football. He's running for his life right now. Larkin, that's a huge play for the undrafted free agent out of Purdue.
So now Jason Sanders is on for a field goal attempt from 48 yards. And that kick is good. A small victory right there for the Falcons defense, holding Miami to 3 here in the first quarter. Back here in Florida, Kenyon Barner. He's going to be the return man here tonight with the Dolphins leading 3-0. Jason Sanders will kick off for Miami, who just made a 48-yard field goal. Barner trying to make a name for himself in the return game. Takes it at the 5. Barner up the middle. Makes a couple of guys miss. A couple of flags come flying out as he takes it up to the 26-yard line. And we'll wait to see what the flags are for. Sam McGuavin on the special teams tackle for Miami.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 53. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's against Jermaine Grace. How about our SunTrust players to watch on the offensive side of the ball?
Ito Smith, Brian Hill. Who's going to step up and be the number 2 behind Devontae Freeman this year? Ito Smith was serviceable last year. We could see him really start to make games, especially in the pass game. The first-round draft pick, Chris Lindstrom's eyes to watch at that right guard spot.
Ito Smith starts in the backfield. Matt Schaub under center. On first down, it's Ito Smith trying to cut it back. And Ito Smith will pick up a few tackled by Christian Wilkins. Ito Smith, second-year guy at a Southern Miss.
Yeah, can he take the next step and prove that he's the number 2 behind Freeman? Brian Hill looked really good last week. We're going to see more of him later tonight. But Ito Smith is a guy that you like his dynamic ability in the pass game and run game as a backup.
And the question is, who will replace really Tevin Coleman? That's the position they're looking at right now at running back. It's Smith again. And Smith takes it across the 15 up to the 16-yard line. Third down coming up here for the Falcons.
The right side of the line with Lindstrom and Sembralo in there doing some good work here in these first 2 plays. Lindstrom looking really strong, manhandling his man essentially on the last 2 plays. Ito Smith ended up running right behind him on both of those.
A couple of 3-yard runs for Ito Smith. Brings up 3rd and 4. Shaw, first pass attempts to the near side, and that is hauled in. Russell Gage went up and got it. And that's a first down for the Falcons.
That's a long throw. Schaub got it there, only where Gage was going to be able to get it, and he rose up to get it. I mean, he really stretched out for this one. Excellent route, stemming the defensive back in, making the cut and the throw right there as he comes out of the break. Good execution.
So first down for Russell Gage, and now it gives a chance to Brian Hill in the backfield. Austin Hooper lined up outside for the Falcons. First down, play action. Schaub buys himself some more time, and he'll dump it off, and that is caught by Brian Hill. DJ Shockley's down on the field. Shock, you're watching Matt Schaub. First, I want to get just a take on the surface, because Matt Ryan's not playing. How is the grass right now?
The grass actually is pretty good. This is a good drainage system they have here. Not many guys slipping in pregame warm-ups, not many guys slipping in the game right now. So the surface is pretty good. Schaub looks well. Going back to that previous play, Ito Smith did a great job of picking up the blitz, what allowed Matt Schaub to make that completion to Gage.
Here on 2nd down and 3, it's Hill off the toss. Hill hurdles one guy on the ground, picks up the first down. And this is something the Falcons would love to see, is to get some production out of the backfield this year. Devontae Freeman hurt most of last year. Who's going to be the guy?
Watch Gano take out 2 defenders on there. That's what you want to see out of a pulling lineman, when one man can take 2. Big gain on the run there, in large part because of Matt Gano.
Another first down as Ito Smith is back in at tailback. They're shuffling those 2 in here on this first drive. And a flag. Appeared to be a false start, and that's what it is.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's against that tackle we were just talking about, who brought 2 guys down with 1 block.
Yeah, he got a little excited. He put two and 1 on the ground at one time. He's a little ahead of himself now. But one thing you're noticing here, and if this is a pass, you'll notice how comfortable Matt Schaub is in the pocket compared to Ryan Fitzpatrick was a series ago.
Now first down and 15. Schaub, the quick pass. It's caught again by Gage. And Gage gets hit right away.
Gage getting a couple targets here early on. That's essentially a jet sweep or a long handoff, and that's exactly what he did at LSU. They're finding ways to get the ball into his hands early here to see what he can do. He's fighting to be at that 5th, 6th wide receiver spot on this team.
There are a couple guys that are fighting for those positions. 2nd down and 10, empty backfield for the first time here for Atlanta.
And smart play by Sembralo, jumping there.
Encroachment, defense, number 33. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So now that makes it a 2nd down and 5 as we check in with Jen Hale, who knows a thing or two about Louisiana and LSU.
Just a few things, Justin, here and there. I also had a chance to visit with Dirk Cutter pregame, and he told me Russell Gage is one of the players he has his eyes on tonight. He's got to be impressed so far. He was starting him in Julio Jones's place because he wanted to see how Russell Gage could handle the talent of these Dolphins defensive backs. They're a good bunch up towards the top of the league. This is the type of talent that Gage would have to handle if he ever spelled Julio in a regular season game. So especially man-to-man coverage, that's what Dirk Cutter's watching out of Gage tonight.
We just saw a heads-up play before by Sembralo when he jumped because he saw the player neutral zone infraction. How about that heads-up move by Austin Hooper, realizing if he makes the catch right there, they're going to lose a significant amount of yards. He just let it go by him.
Yeah, I wonder what college he went to. I mean, that's a smart heads-up play by that tight end there. Pro Bowl.
Did he go to Cal?
The Stanford grad making a heads-up play. Great call, Justin. Big 3rd down here. Watch it to see how this interior of the offensive line protects Schaub. Give him some time. They're going to like the back out of the backfield here.
Schaub dumps it over the middle to Gage. Gage makes one-man miss, and Russell Gage is going to have another 1st down here for the Falcons. A great opening drive for the wide receiver out of LSU.
They like his speed. They're sending him on a long drag route from all the way across the field, basically saying if you're in man-to-man, try to keep up with this guy. He's got a lot of speed. They cleared out the opposite side, gave him some room to run. He made the most of it, made a couple guys miss.
So 1st and 10, now at the 40 of Miami. There's the new offensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter, who was the head coach in Tampa Bay. Schaub down the sideline, making the... Did he haul it in? He did. The catch is made by Olamide Zaccheaus. Someone who has impressed in camp. Zaccheaus just impressed us with that catch.
Yeah, out of Virginia, and you can see why he broke his own school record with 93 catches. That is incredible concentration and awareness to drag the feet. Looks like it's going to be challenged. Yeah. It was that close. We'll see what they say. It looks good from here.
Brian Flores, the first-year head coach for Miami, is going to challenge this one. With 3:29 to go, challenge coming up here in Miami. 3-0 Miami leading the Falcons here, but the challenge against the catch by Olamide Zaccheaus, the call, it was confirmed. He had that 2nd foot inbound, so Miami is charged with a timeout. And now the Falcons have the ball at the 12-yard line of Miami. Brian Hill is in at tailback here. Schaub is off to a great start here for the Falcons. Schaub rolling to Hardy. And Hardy will pick up a few. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 yards.
How about Matt Schaub tonight? He looked a little rusty last week in the first game. 38 years old. You need some time to knock the rust off, but a couple incredible throws and outstanding effort on his young receivers to make these connections. He's moving the ball really well.
Now 2nd down and 5 from the 7 of Miami. 11th play of this opening drive for the Falcons. Schaub That ball is caught by Justin Hardy, but Hardy had a man all over him. That's Xavier Howard.
Exceptional route runners, not known for his breakaway speed, but he had the defensive back in fairly good position here. But when he came out of his break, he was shot out of a cannon. Schaub put it right on the money. Here's another look at that incredible catch we saw moments ago.
Now 3rd and 1 here for the Falcons. Ito Smith in at tailback. Gage goes out wide. Pump fake. Gage goes down in the end zone. There is a flag. I believe Nick Needham was there on the coverage.
Holding. Defense, number 40. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Here's a close look at you. You can see nice route, defensive back panics, bear hugs the receiver to the ground. And you see Schaub over there, though. There was miscommunication on which route should have been run. Schaub went right over to young Gage and had a talk with him, coached him up on the field.
So now it's 1st and goal from the 2 here for the Falcons.
See if they run behind Lindstrom.
It's Ito Smith trying to get low. And no sign yet. He's going to be short of the goal line, so 2nd and goal coming up.
They did pull Lindstrom on this. You can see it's a power O look. You got the fullback lead as well. You have Ito Smith. He's now the smallest back you have on your roster. This is a situation. Maybe they're testing him out to see. They think they know what Brian Hill could do down there. A bigger back. Ito Smith getting some looks. Short yardage.
It's Smith again, and this time Smith will get into the end zone for the touchdown. What an opening drive by these Falcons.
We're going to check out Lindstrom on this play. Your right guard, watch how low he gets, the leverage. Being able to stand that defensive lineman up, that's what you want. They went right behind him 2 plays in a row. The first play pulled him to the left. This time runs straight downhill at him. Look at them dent that defensive line. That's impressive.
And now the Falcons are going to go for 2. You think Matt Ryan's fired up? Schaub back of the end zone. That was nearly picked by Xavier Howard, but there is a flag. I believe it's going to be holding against the Falcons.
Holding. Offense, number 73. Penalties decline. Try is no good. Timeout.
They do get a touchdown, though, on the opening drive. And they answer back right away. Former MVP likes what he just saw from his teammates. 6-3, Falcons on top here in the first. 6-3, Falcons lead as Giorgio Tavecchio kicks off. Isaiah Ford. Ford down the sideline, gets tackled. And how about Matt Schaub on that opening drive? 7 of 8, 77 yards. As a team, they went 90 yards, 13 plays, took 8:38 off the clock. Russell Gage had a big 3rd down reception, a big-time catch by Olamide Zaccheaus. Impressive opening drive for this preseason for the Falcons. As the Dolphins now take over at their own 25, Kalen Ballage is in the backfield. The handoff is to Ballage. And Ballage cannot escape that hold of Tyler Davison, one of those guys who Dan Quinn says he just brings toughness.
Yeah, longtime starter for the Saints out of Fresno State. Just someone who's consistent and a big body in there. 6'2", nearly 310 pounds. One of the things that Dan Quinn wanted to do was get bigger on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball up front. He's one of the reasons he's here.
2nd down and 9. Fitzpatrick directing traffic. Gets rid of it quickly. Balazs wasn't looking for it. And now third down is coming up.
This will be a big money down, as the DBs say, right? 3rd and 9. You know they're going to pass. One point of emphasis here, getting back to the takeaways as well. Can this defense create turnovers, get a hand in the face of the quarterback, force an errant throw, allow those DBs to make a break?
On 3rd and 9. Pocket closing on Fitzpatrick, and the pass unable to be held in by Balazs. But there is a flag on the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. Penalties decline. 4th down.
That'll go against Jordan Mills. The Falcons decline it, so the punt team comes on for the Dolphins. What a 3-and-out right there. Kendall Sheffield, another rookie that Dan Quinn has talked highly about.
Yeah, he's getting some quality reps out there with some of the guys who are going to be starters on this defense. For him to be able to make plays in this situation, really good for him here in the preseason. Playing with a lot of energy out there on defense.
Barner back to receive this punt, says clear out of the way. It takes a Falcons bounce, and this will go out of bounds. Let's check out the Emory Healthcare comeback story of running back Devonta Freeman. Devonta Freeman, who signed that contract a couple years ago, last year, week 1. This is a guy who just could not seem to stay healthy. His knee, his groin, but he's ready to come back.
I think the main thing is just understanding your body, learning your body, understanding the situation you're about to put your body through every single day, and just mentally preparing.
And he is someone who his coach Dan Quinn says he's done all the work. He's stronger than he's ever been. We expect to see him next week. Brian Hill is in at tailback to open up this series, takes the handoff. And that should be the final play of this opening quarter.
I feel really good on both sides of the ball right now, from the coaching staff's perspective, but also the players on the field, building that confidence out there, looking really good.
That is the end of the first quarter, with the Falcons leading 6-3. We'll be back after the short timeout. Back here in South Florida, start of the second quarter. Justin Kutcher, Coy Wire, DJ Shockley, and Jen Hale with you for Falcons preseason. And Coy, we were talking during the break. That may have been the best quarter of preseason football that I've seen the Falcons play now in this third year that we're all together. Both sides of the ball.
Yeah, crisp, executing, poised, relaxed, confidence with what they're doing. It's really impressive.
Hill takes the handoff again on 2nd down and 8. A good run there by Hill. Tackled by Akeem Spence of the Dolphins. Let's get the thoughts of DJ Shockley. Shockley, you're down on the field. What you take away from that first quarter?
Offensively, you can just see the calmness of this offense, being able to move the football. A lot of 2 tight end sets allowing the Falcons to be able to throw the football or run it, keeping this Miami Dolphins defense really off balance. And like you guys both just mentioned, the trenches have really dominated the first quarter of the game.
Ito Smith is in now on 3rd and 4 from the 42. And that's going to be movement, I believe, against Ito Smith.
False start. Offense. Number 25. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So now you went from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9.
Our Jen Hale's down there on the sidelines as well. She said that Dan Quinn, the entire timeout, was over there congratulating that defense. He's very involved with them in the meeting rooms and at the practice fields as well. We'll talk about that later. But now on the field, that he has all this support around him, he's able to go and be the coordinator. I think that's the difference we saw with that defense and the energy with which they're playing right now.
On 3rd and 9, Saubert, the tight end, in motion. Shaw pressured, and Shaw goes down. Sacked by Nate Orchard.
And that's going to be on Sean Harlow. It looks like he wasn't able to get his set in time wide enough, and that pressure came in a hurry. Shaw, that's the first real pressure he's seen all game here, and it happened when Lindstrom came out of the game.
And let's not forget it happened after the false start by Ito Smith, so it went from a 3rd and 4 to a 3rd and 9. And now Matt Bosher on to punt here for the Falcons. Trenton Irwin. He's saying clear out of the way. And it will be downed at around the 29-yard line. Falcons on top by 3 here in the second quarter. Limited Falcons season tickets are available now, starting at $750 per seat. For information on availability, visit atlantafalcons.com/ticks. Matt Shaw, Matt Sims, the quarterbacks for this game, looking things over as the Falcons lead 6-3, and Josh Rosen is now in at quarterback for the Dolphins. Rosen, his first pass, incomplete. Was looking down the sideline. He and his receiver, Preston Williams, not on the same page on that one.
And good coverage on the back end there, all across the board. Here you see right here that slip on the field, that foot given out on the wet field. That's why Matt Ryan, Mohamed Sanu, you go on and on with a lot of the starters that aren't out there. Smart move by Quinn keeping them out tonight.
Kalen Ballage in the backfield. On 2nd down and 10. Rosen pressured again, gets hit as he throws. And it's incomplete. There is a flag thrown right where he was hit.
Might be that he went into legs.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 49. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Trey Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford, outstanding effort coming off the edge. Was on the ground, actually got up. You'll see him at the top of your screen there, and look at this, and then as he's tackling the quarterback, it's on the knees, and that's going to get the flag. But that's one of those mistakes that younger guys will make. It's a no-hit zone.
It's a 15-yard penalty now at the 44 of the Dolphins. Takes the handoff and hit right away. Chris Odom there to make contact with him.
Unblocked on that one. That was here you go, take this tackle for a loss and add this to your stat sheet. Some miscommunication along the Dolphins offensive front here early in this game.
2nd down and 11. Play action, Rosen pressure on the run, throws and completes the pass. This is to one of his tight ends, Nick O'Leary, the grandson of Jack Nicklaus. Parker Baldwin made the tackle, 3rd down coming up.
Baldwin's the starter out there tonight. He's in man-to-man coverage. A little too much space in between him and the tight end. It was an easy throw for the quarterback.
It's 3rd down and 8 now for Rosen and the Dolphins. Ballage and Drake in the backfield.
Press coverage across the board. Ball should come out quick.
It's not coming out quick in the grass, getting rid of it. And that is a flag. And do we have a catch as well? They're going to say it is a catch. Preston Williams made the grab. I'd love to see that again. Bleedy Ray Wilson was there on the coverage.
Yeah, look at the pressure up front. Kamal Ishmael.
Defense number 33. Penalties declined. First down.
It's pass interference against Ray Wilson. He made the catch anyway. What a job by Rosen and by Preston Williams.
Yeah. Ray Wilson had no idea when that ball was arriving. He saw the receiver cut, turn around, and assumed the ball was there, and he grabbed on anything he could. Ball hadn't arrived yet. That'll get the flag.
Play clock down to 3. And a timeout is taken here by Miami. With that play clock winding down, some confusion offensively for Josh Rosen and the Dolphins. They take a timeout. 6-3, Falcons on top here in the second.
Shop Belk Days now through August 14th with over 400 doorbusters. Nike and Under Armour up to 25% off. Kids sneakers $15.99. And High Sierra backpacks 60% off. Shop Belk Days now at belkandbelk.com.
Heading to Toyota's National Clearance Event.
We got great deals for all our friends.
Better get here before the end of the song. The last of the 2019s won't last long.
Right now, during Toyota's National Clearance Event, get 1.9% APR for 48 months, plus $500 bonus cash on a new 2019 Toyota RAV4. That's 1.9% APR on the Toyota RAV4.
Save on the last of the 2019s.
Toyota, let's go places.
Good news, it's back.
Frosted Tips?
Absurdly large shoulder pads?
Saying talk to the hand?
No, the sensation's back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
Are the color cartridges in your printer ready for another school year?
What's cyan mean?
It means Cyan Mara Honor Roll. The new Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink. Just fill and chill.
You got your homework?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hey.
What's the role of a car company? To take your kids to and from school?
Don't forget your science project.
We think it can be something bigger.
Everybody take your seats. Today we're going to...
This summer, Volkswagen is supporting America's teachers. Visit your VW dealer to learn how you can join in. Hurry in during the Volkswagen Drive Bigger event and lease a value-packed 2019 Tiguan S for just $199 a month.
Shop Belk Days now through August 14th with over 400 doorbusters. Select sandals, $14.99. True craft denim for the family starting at $14.99. Plus, get it today with free store pickup. Shop Belk Days now at belkandbelk.com.
Wondering if this Chris Odom here, is he concerned about a couple plays ago when there was a quarterback getting hit in the knees? You can see him going down low. It's almost, he had him in the grasp. You could have called that a sack technically, but full speed, a little bit more of a difficult call for the official.
They called a pass interference in the back end. It didn't matter. It was a completion as Balaj takes the handoff, and Kalen Balaj down the sideline picks up the first down and much more. The running back out of Arizona State.
Yeah, you can see the end of the defense here. That's Parker Baldwin going against 81, the tight end here. He gets reached. He's got to set that edge, allow the rest of his defense to go to work. Once you lose contain, it's going to be a big game.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the 22. Balaj, little stop and go. He'll get a yard.
Even now that some of the backups are coming in along this defensive front, you're seeing that defensive line force those running backs to tiptoe. I mean, that tells me they're really clogging up those gaps. They're really playing aggressive and making those running backs hesitate. No run game happening for them other than that one break and contain. That's going to make it more difficult for the pass game as well.
2nd down and 9. Rosen, a quick pass. And that is caught by Allen Hurns, who gets thrown to the ground by DeMonte Casey. 3rd down coming up. Another chance for this Falcons defense to force a field goal opportunity.
Casey's just fun to watch, isn't he? I mean, he's a fan favorite, and for good reason, all over the field. They're going to use him close to the line of scrimmage this year when you get Keanu O'Neal and Rico Allen back there, who did an outstanding job filling in last year at free safety.
3rd and 6. Can the defense come up with a stop again? Rosen, pressure. Rosen trying to escape. He does, and now he throws it away. There is a flag in the secondary.
Holding. Defense, number 43. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Parker Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin's struggling a bit here early in the game. We see some giving up some passes in front of him. In coverage, he's struggling a bit. In the run game, gave up a big play, losing contain. He needs to just take it next snap, so they say, right? Forget about everything else. Calm down. They're going to keep attacking you if they think that they can keep going at you.
It's a first down now at the 13 for Miami. Balaj up the middle, able to push the pile a bit, takes it across the 10. Justin Zimmer there first to make contact. Now let me ask you this. Coy, you played linebacker, you played in the defensive backfield. On that play, when Josh Rosen is extending it, how difficult is it not to commit a holding call?
You're going to see a lot of that, right? I mean, you will often see a defensive holding when that play is extended because you're out there running for your life. I mean, you're trying to catch a receiver. All routes are abandoned. It's a playground football at that point.
Rosen to the end zone, jump ball, and there is a flag. This time it's going to be called against Kendall Sheffield. You could see it. It was blatant.
Really good position here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20.
No reason he couldn't have even actually made a play on this ball. Great position. He just felt he panicked. He grabbed jersey. He had eyes on his man, turned at the last second, got his hand around. He could have actually made a play on the ball. Just lights a little too bright for him right now. He needs to just calm down. That's a play that he can make.
Already the 7th penalty against the Falcons makes it first and goal from the 1.
Little man wins on that line.
Balaj goes up high, over the top for the touchdown. All he did in college at Arizona State was score touchdowns, and he gets one here. And that's because of all the penalties against the Falcons defense.
Yeah, really. I mean, they moved the ball against themselves, right? I mean, you can see good offensive line there staying low. Push the defensive line off the ball a bit, but Justin, you bring up a great point. That offense really moved the ball on this defense. Not so much. It was them hurting themselves.
Jason Sanders is on for the extra point. And the extra point is good. So thanks to all the penalties, and then over the top by Balaj, the Dolphins have retaken the lead at 10-6. Back here as the Dolphins lead the Falcons. Really moved the ball down the field courtesy of penalties as Jason Sanders is on to kick off. Kenyon Barner back from the 1. And Barner, a little stutter step down the sideline, gets pushed out of bounds. Barner, who made his name when he was at Oregon thanks to the speed. Right now it's time for AT&T Meet the Rookies. Let's introduce you to the Falcons offensive guard, Chris Lindstrom.
Falcons select Chris Lindstrom, guard, Boston College.
14th overall pick, went to Boston College. You know what's ironic? His quarterback during the regular season, also a Boston College Eagle, and I have a hunch that Matt Ryan already likes what he's seeing from this rookie.
Yeah, he looked really solid out there in both the run game and the pass game. They're going to be happy about what they see on tape.
Shaw with time, now we'll just throw it away. For more on the rookie right guard, Chris Lindstrom, let's check in with Jen Hale.
Justin, Lindstrom isn't just exceeding expectations tonight. That's been true of all training camp and last week in the Hall of Fame game. And you know, yes, I realize Boston College is no LSU, but nonetheless, Lindstrom's a pretty smart guy, and he's approaching this transition to the pros in a very deliberate, strategic way. He hired a boxing coach to help him work on hand speed. We've got some great footage of him doing drills out there. He's paying attention to all those little details that will help him make the jump into the pros faster and smoother.
Well, here's a good smooth run by Brian Hill. And was that a boxing coach or Mr. Miyagi?
Oh, my goodness. That looked like Shockley fighting me off when I tried to grab one of his French fries earlier for lunch. That was impressive. He is really good with his hands. Very strong, stout. Here it is. And now you see Shockley here. He's trying to hit me.
Shocks. No, not that one. You can't have that one either.
No, this is what I love to see. This is Dan Quinn will salivate over stuff like this, right? He loves MMA. He loves what the hand combat can do for a player in the trenches, both on the offensive, defensive side of the ball. He looked impressive tonight.
3rd and 1. The handoff is to Hill, and Hill, even with the delay, will get across the marker for the first down.
Hill's a big back, right? 6'1", 220. Looked really solid last week. I mean, he was able to get out in the open field and punish some defenders when they tried to tackle him. They were struggling last year in the 3rd and short, 4th and short situations. They're thinking that Brian Hill or maybe Quadri Allison, who we'll see later tonight, can possibly be the difference makers when it comes to that combination with the bigger men up front they got on the O-line.
Now it's Kenyon Barner in the backfield. From the 35. Shaw over the middle, unable to hang on to it, was Devin Gray. So the running backs, obviously, Devontae Freeman, he's the guy. But Tevin Coleman is gone, so now who picks up the slack? Who moves into the number 2 spot and that 3rd spot? That's going to be a battle during this entire preseason.
Yeah, look, Devontae Freeman is tough as nails, right? One of the toughest in the league. He punishes people, but that style has impacted him as well with injuries. So very important. You have to think from a administration standpoint, who's going to be your backup should he go down. And they have 3 guys right now that are looking solid in the preseason.
Shaw this time goes right back to Devin Gray, and Gray holds on for the first down.
You know, how many running backs are you going to keep? Do you keep 4 backs? And with the 2 big backs now, and Brian Hill and Quadri Allison, can one of them play fullback in certain situations? Does your fullback Ricky Ortiz become expendable? Could one of your tight ends play a little bit of a hybrid role and be a lead blocker in short yardage situations? I think they're going to find a difficult situation in determining how many running backs they should keep if some of them continue to shine like Brian Hill.
Play action, Shaw. What a beautiful pass, complete to C.J. Wharton. Oh, was that spectacular.
Schaub is looking outstanding so far. He's showing his veteran leadership. He's showing why he has tens of thousands of yards over his career, why he's a former Pro Bowler. He's distributing the ball all across the field, had pressure in his face that time, still able to find the open target and deliver.
A 29-yard completion to C.J. Wharton, the rookie out of Florida International. 1st and 10 from the 19 of the Dolphins. Shaw with time again going to the end zone, and the flag will be thrown, intended for Christian Blake. Jamal Wiltz on the coverage. He'll be the guilty party.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Holding, offense, number 73. Pass interference. Defense, number 33. Those fouls offset. Replay, first down.
Christian Blake ran a double move. Executed really well here. Actually, didn't even really sell it that well. Defensive back panic. That's what ended up getting the defensive hold on the call there.
All right, so let's do it over. 1st and 10 from the 19 as the Falcons try to get into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. Brian Hill back in at tailback. The handoff to Hill. Hill trying to bounce it outside, had nowhere to go. Devon Gottschall there with a stop. DJ Shockley, you've been watching Matt Schaub, you've been watching this offensive line, even with a second unit in. What's your take?
The good thing about this offensive line is they've had time to kind of gel in camp, and a lot of these guys have played together with this second and third unit. So the communication you can see up front is there. You can see them talking, communicating, knowing who to block, where to go to, and I love what Dirk Cutter's doing. He's been very aggressive with his play calls.
He splits Barner out, empty backfield here on 2nd and 12. Shaw in some trouble, buying some time, and he's going to throw this one away. That's the veteran in Matt Schaub, the backup to Matt Ryan. 3rd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, good decision. Again, that veteran leadership coming through. A 2-year, $9 million extension back in March. Looked rusty last week, but he's coming into form. And we talked about Kurt Bankert last week, who looked good. Some people thinking his Schaub's job in trouble, but tonight he's showing why he's your trusted backup behind Matt Ryan.
Bankert placed on the IR with a toe injury. Barner's in on 3rd and 12. Schaub, pass incomplete for Eric Sauber.
Got to make that catch.
Even if he makes the catch, it did not have the yardage for the first down, but it makes a field goal try that much easier.
Those are the ones, though, that the coaching staff remember, right? Can you make the plays that you should easily make? And it's going to stick with Saubert as well. I mean, he's got to come up with that in the preseason when you're fighting for your roster spot.
Giorgio Tavecchio on for a 37-yard field goal attempt to make it a 1-point game. And Tavecchio's kick is good. From 37 yards out, 4:47 to go here in this first half. And the Falcons trail by 1. The offensive line, we've talked a great deal about. Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach, speaking with his guys right there. Giorgio Tavecchio to kick off. Isaiah Ford running up to take it at the 10. And Ford across to the 26-yard line. Right now it's time for Winning in the Trenches, presented by Georgia Power. Let's check out Falcons defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. Yes, it was the big deal in the offseason, a 4-year contract extension for $68 million. Grady Jarrett, who has become a staple on that defensive line, a defensive tackle. And with the money, he bought himself that nice new suit.
Yeah, and looks good in it, too. And his shorts are being weighed down out there by the money bags in his pockets, but well-deserved. He's the type of guy who works so hard. He has stayed humble. He gives back to the community. Type of guy you cheer for when they get rewarded for their hard work.
10-yard penalty. First down.
It was holding against Will Holden. Yeah, I know. I changed my name too.
Yes. No, but Grady Jarrett, what a foundational piece for your defense, right? You secure him and be able to build around from the inside out on the defensive line around him, and they're in a really good situation with having him on their team.
Rosen over the middle. That one is picked off. Intercepted, going back the other way is Jermaine Grace. There's that turnover. And Grace takes it inside the 5.
This is a guy who bounced around last season. 2017, he earned a 53-man roster spot out of camp. Look at the eyes on the quarterback all the way, and that athleticism to be able to snag it and take it the other way on the left side of your screen. And this is a textbook. Read the quarterback, feet are planted, buzzing, and then you drive when the quarterback takes his hand off the ball. That's an incredible play for that young man.
And in case you're wondering where he went to college, the University of Miami. He made this sign as he stood up here in Miami. So now it's 1st and goal from the 3.
Big back.
It's Hill. They give it to him. He tries to go low, and a flag is thrown from the backfield. Going to be holding against the Falcons.
Short yardage, again, big issue last year.
Holding. Offense. Number 64. 10-yard penalty. First down.
64 is Harlow again. We saw him give up a sack earlier. Here we are, short yardage situation. You're right there on the goal line. You don't want to be moving backwards. But short yardage situations, running the ball was difficult for this team last year. They were 27th in the league in rushing. This is an area where they really wanted to try to improve. The first unit that was out there tonight proved that there was progress.
It's going to be first and goal now from the 13. It's Brian Hill again. And this time Hill gets the 11-yard line. Picks up 2. Dan Quinn fired up on the sideline.
I mean, he looks like he just got what he wanted for Christmas. He's that little kid. He's just, I got it, Mom and Dad. That's what I've been asking for. That's the brotherhood. That's the celebration. That's your head coach, who's also your defensive coordinator, sharing your joy and happiness when you get the turnovers you've been so desperately wanting.
Now it's Kenyon Barner in the backfield on second and goal from the 11. The Falcons trying to take advantage of that interception. Shaw to the end zone, and that is incomplete. Russell Gage was back there, could not get 2 feet down.
I know he was out of bounds, but this is still flashing to me. I mean, this kid's showing that you put the ball in his area, he's going to grab it. Shaw trying to keep the ball away from the defensive back, high and outside, a little too far outside, but look at the hands, look at the concentration. That still, to me, is Gage showing that he's hungry and he wants to prove he's worthy of a roster spot.
Falcons 3 for 5 on third downs.
The back tight end combo at the bottom of your screen.
Shaw. And there was a mix-up with the routes there between Christian Blake and Devin Gray. So the Falcons, who began that drive at the 3 of the Dolphins, moved backwards because of the holding penalty. And now they're going to have to try to settle for a field goal to take a lead here in the second quarter. Tavecchio connected from 37 just before, this time from 29. And that is good. The Falcons are back on top. The turnover leads to 3 points for Atlanta with 2:58 to go.
Anytime Tavecchio has attempted a kick tonight, I'm probably like Falcons fans out there holding their breath a bit. Matt Bryant gone. I mean, that's a big risk in some people's minds to let someone who's been one of the most automatic kickers in the league go, and now you have Tavecchio fairly unproven in this league, seeing if he can get it done through the preseason. He's been easing some minds here early tonight.
Tavecchio will kick off here for the Falcons. Just under 3 minutes to play here in this first half. First preseason game, the first real preseason game. And we say that, of course, because they played in the Hall of Fame game last week, lost 14-10 to Denver. But that was just a scrimmage.
Yeah, really, when other teams are doing the cross practices, you go to another person's camp and you practice against another team. They were just doing it with their game uniforms on, essentially. Didn't see many starters out there last week.
Isaiah Ford from the 3. And Ford tried to break it as he gets just out to the 20-yard line. Tripped up there by Chris Cooper as we go back down to Jen Hale.
Well, Justin, in order for Quinn to be able to call this defense, he needs help. And that comes in the form of Bob Sutton, whose title is technically senior assistant, but really he's Quinn's lifeline. He's up in the booth advising Quinn on timing issues and challenges. During training camp, these two drill those situations every Tuesday and Thursday, and Sutton is more than qualified. Former defensive coordinator for the Jets and the Chiefs, and head coach at Army, Justin.
Yeah, Dan Quinn spoke with Shock right before the first kickoff, as this pass over the middle is incomplete, about that trust, about no egos.
And really, this frees up Dan Quinn's mental space, right? He has to be locked in as a play caller, as the new defensive coordinator for his football team. You also, in Sutton, get another brilliant defensive mind. Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator the last 6 seasons. He's now in meeting rooms. He's out there on the practice field. What a combination on the defensive side of the ball.
2nd down and 10 for Miami. Rosen stepping up in the pocket. Rosen goes down. There's a flag thrown. The pass is incomplete. The pressure that the defensive line is getting on any of these Dolphins quarterbacks is phenomenal.
Really is.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Tuitoi Mariner in there, as well as John Kaminsky in the game now, who really stood out last week in game action. But they're giving this offensive line all kinds of fits. I think we're seeing the rewards early here being reaped from having Dan Quinn spend all of his time in meetings with the pass rushers, and in all of the individual sessions he's with those pass rushers. It's an area of importance. It means something to him, and it's showing tonight.
Now 3rd and 10. Rosen again. He gets sacked. Austin Larkin with his 2nd sack of the night.
I love how active he is. I mean, he's out there showing a speed rush one time, a bull rush another. Here you're going to see a spin move from the left side of your screen. I mean, that is incredible technique. He got that right elbow, whipped it around, and got it into the shoulder of that offensive lineman. Made him look silly.
A timeout has been taken here by the Falcons to stop the clock with 2:28 to go. John Kaminsky last week opened some eyes for the Falcons, so much so that Dan Quinn talked about him with us earlier today. Kaminsky, the rookie at Charleston.
I was just working my guard back as hard as I could, and the rest of the D-line did a good job caging that quarterback, and he fell right to me. So it was electric. My body heated up to like 300 degrees, and I was just super pumped to get off the field.
What is it like having the body temperature at 300 degrees?
Right.
Let's ask Shock. I think he might be like that down the field right now. Matt Hawk will kick from his own end zone.
Let's see what Barner can do in the punt return game.
Kenyon Barner trying to get back out to midfield with 2:22 to go here in this first half. So last week it was Kaminsky who's opening eyes. This week it's Austin Larkin maybe opening some eyes along the sideline for the Falcons.
Schaub's out there. He's ready to go. He's giving the thumbs up, said, let's roll. 2-minute offense here before the half. DJ Shockley, what's their philosophy here?
The philosophy early is the first play has to count. Get out to a good start so you can get the drive going. So this first possession, this first throw here is pivotal.
Schaub got hit as he threw it, still able to complete it to Jaden Graham, the first-year player out of Yale.
We're seeing this 2-minute operation now. Guys getting lined up, running around. Good communication.
And they get the snap off before the 2-minute warning, as the pass is complete on the slant to Christian Blake. And there is the whistle for the 2-minute warning at 1:57. Falcons up by 2, trying to add to it before halftime here in Miami. Well, this is the opener of the preseason. The rest of the Falcons' preseason schedule looks like this. They all come on Thursdays. Next Thursday, we're back home in Atlanta against the Jets at 7:30 p.m. Back home against the Redskins on the 22nd, and then finishing up in Jacksonville. First and 10 from the 38. The quick pass is out to Barner. Barner is dangerous in the open field. Here goes Barner, has a block. Barner to the end zone. Touchdown. Kenyon Barner. He was days at Oregon, they were known for speed. You get him in the open field, he shows off the speed.
Yeah, he showed why his nickname was Burner. Incredible play, and you got to feel really good about a player who you bring in to play special teams for you. He's a proven punt returner in this league. You can trust him back there, but then if you need to, put him in at running back. He can make plays like this. Bring that offense to life.
38-yard touchdown pass from Schaub to Barner. The Falcons have had 5 drives in this game. They've scored on 4 of the 5. I would say that was a pretty good 2-minute offense.
Previous play is under review. The ruling on the field was a touchdown.
Let's see, as this previous play is under review, did the knee go down before the ball crossed the goal line? The ruling on the field again obviously was a touchdown. The replay official is Jim Lapatina.
Really impressive what Matt Schaub has been able to do with not just the starting line tonight, but also the backups who've come in. Keep this offense together, keep them moving. Seen some really explosive plays, but seeing the plays that are just systematic, the plays that you're not really expecting much from other than to get a good solid conversion or a run game, and it's happening.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm going to say this call is going to stand. Not be confirmed, not be overturned, but it's going to stand based on different camera angles and whatnot, what they have at their disposal.
Yeah, that's probably the best look that we had. It did not look like there was enough to overturn it, so they're going to have to stick with it.
That's just my early prediction. I mean, it is week 1 of the preseason.
There's not many camera angles available during the preseason, so in this case for the Falcons, that could be a good thing, because from what we have, there's not an angle that could overturn it. This may be a different angle that the officials have to work with. We'll see, but even at this angle, you can't tell where that ball is. In fact, it looks, if anything, if it is over the line. This touchdown, to your point, Justin, looks like it's going to stand.
Kenyon Barner trying and hoping it's a 38-yard touchdown. Let's have the call.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. The runner's knee was down and the ball was short. It will be a half-yard short. Atlanta has chosen not to use a timeout. By rule, since we went from stop to a running clock, we will run 10 seconds. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock at 1:38, and the clock will start on my signal.
Well, I'm wrong.
And I'm wrong for following you. But
you should know that.
Here's the positive in it. It was still an incredible play for Kenyon Barner. Matt Schaub continuing to move this football down the field. Now we're going to get another look at a short yardage situation, which this team needs some work.
Brian Hill is the tailback in. It's going to be 1st and goal from really the half-yard line.
Kenyon Barner saying, wait a minute, why are you putting Brian Hill in there now? Let me finish the job. I still want that touchdown on my stat sheet.
Ricky Ortiz in at fullback. It's Hill. And Hill is pushing his way to the end zone for the touchdown.
They really like that power O down here, pulling the offside guard, get the fullback lead. Several times we've seen that in short yardage situations from this offense. Here goes the guard that's Harlow this time. Ortiz and Saubert there leading the way, but then getting low. Good drive by Brian Hill. Another touchdown for him this preseason.
Giorgio Tavecchio on for the extra point. And Tavecchio has been perfect thus far. 19-10, impressive first half for the Falcons with 1:11 to go. And we've talked about the running backs. Do you keep 3? Do you keep 4? What do you do? Fortunately, we're going to be joined by the general manager of the Falcons, Thomas Dimitroff, in the fourth quarter. So don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to him about a whole bunch of different topics. I'm guessing that may come up, as well as how good the offensive and defensive lines have looked. But I've been bad at predicting already, so who knows? Tavecchio to kick off. Once again to Isaiah Ford back deep for the Dolphins.
Kickoff formations look a lot different when I played the game. No more big collisions out there, as big as they used to be, I should say.
From the 1, Ford takes it out to the 25-yard line.
See this defense step back out onto the field. I'm really excited to see him, because so far tonight, whether it was the first group they put on the field or even the backups to the backups, they're really putting the heat on these quarterbacks. And it's been an area of concern for several years now here in Atlanta. They're showing some new blood in here who might be able to add to some of the excitement along that defensive front. Tack McKinley, he looked really strong when we saw him when it came to the starters. He's going to have a monster year.
Josh Rosen on first down, taking the shot down the field, and that ball is hauled in by Preston Williams. What a catch by Williams.
Yeah, defensive back was in position, kind of tripped just a bit before the ball arrived, but an incredible catch by Williams, one-handed.
37 yards there on first down. Rosen now goes down. Sacked this time by Durant Miles. But how about the catch? As we have a timeout taken here, watch this catch by Preston Williams.
Yeah, look at Jordan Miller. Kind of trips himself up a bit there. And the concentration, though. I mean, you like the ball placement as well by the quarterback. But that catch, that's as good as you get. That's going to be trending there on social media with that one, hauling that in.
You know, you talk about trying to make a team. Here's a guy in Preston Williams, a free agent out of Colorado State, making a catch like that. That opens some eyes.
Yeah, when you come from a place that maybe people wondering, can he hang, right? Can he perform the way he did at Colorado State at this level? And then you make a play like that, that's going to keep you around for a few more weeks.
Now Miami's out of timeouts with 35 seconds to go here in this first half. Rosen dancing around, throws to the sideline, and that is caught by Bryce Butler.
Not seeing a lot of passes over the middle. They don't have any timeouts left, so that's why they're hitting a lot of these out routes and throws toward the sidelines. Clock management, moving the ball here now inside the 25-yard line. This younger defense, we'll see what they have to answer for a couple of big plays for the Dolphins.
Rosen steps up. Throws to the sideline. This time it's incomplete. Preston Williams could not get the 2 feet down. I'm impressed by this kid early on, though.
Yeah, that was in the throw as well by Rosen, because you had a defensive back who was right where he needed to be. But watch the ball placement, the understanding by the receiver that knows he's going to go back shoulder because the defensive back was high. Crowd here wanting it to review this play, thinking that maybe those toes were dragged in, and they may have a case.
Previous play is under review. The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass.
There's 24 seconds to go, and one thing, if you're the Falcons right now, you don't want to give up the points, especially a touchdown at this point. To have played as well as they have played in this first half, you want to have that positive momentum.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what he did right there. I was wrong once.
Well, no, go ahead and say it, and then we'll just know to think opposite of what you say it should be. But
so you're saying I'm the George Costanza of the broadcast? Thanks.
Well, Here's the thing, though, to your point, Justin, about giving up some points here. They're in a situation where maybe they will, but I like that they're being stressed right now. These are the type of situational looks you want to get. A 2-minute, they're marching down the field. How are these younger defensive backs and linebackers going to respond after they've been hit for 3 big pass plays here? Can they show that resolve? Can they stand up to the pressure they're facing right now? That's something that will tell a lot to your coaches here in the preseason.
Well, they're showing a freeze frame here. Preston Williams is saying it's a catch. Let's wait to hear the official word from Scott Novak, our referee.
I've never seen an offensive player signaling no good, Justin. He's definitely going to be his biggest fan out there and advocate. They gave it to him. Here we go. 24 seconds left.
He's lining up like it is a catch, and they're still deliberating right now.
They're just trying to will it into existence.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed to a completed catch. The ball will be placed at the 6-yard line, and the game clock will be 25 seconds. Please reset it to 25 seconds.
Preston Williams defiant, and it was a catch, and he is proven correct. And now all of a sudden it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
So they've gone to Williams a couple times on this drive for big plays. Top of your screen, the defensive back to me is on the hot seat. Will they attack him again?
Rosen over the middle. That's incomplete for Mark Walton.
Let's check Williams out again. There he was. They've gone to him. Maybe they should have gone to him again. Same back shoulder fade. He was wanting it. Jordan Miller in the coverage there, getting picked on a couple plays in a row. Rosen decided not to try to fit it in.
2nd and goal from the 6.
Williams now going up against Kendall Sheffield out of Ohio State at the bottom of your screen.
And a flag. False start.
False start. Offense. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd and goal now from the 11 for Miami. Dan Quinn, who has taken over as the defensive coordinator, wants to see a stand here by his defense to force a field goal.
They may try to work a tight end running back combination at the top of your screen here to the short side of the field, and they do.
Rosen stepping up. He's going to run with it. And Rosen is going to get stopped with no timeouts remaining. They got to hustle up. He's going to spike it. They'll stop the clock with 7 seconds. 4th down coming up. Decision time for Brian Flores. Do you go for the touchdown, or do you try to get points on the board?
Well, you go for it.
I don't think they are.
According to the fans, you go for it, and when you don't, you get booed. This is preseason.
You and I are batting 1,000 so far.
Hey, if I'm an offensive coordinator, this is preseason. I want to see who wants it. We're going for it.
Jason Sanders is on for the field goal from 24 yards. So Coach Quinn's defense does the job, and they prevent the touchdown. They do give up 3. All right, so Coach Coy Wire is 0 for 1. Replay official Justin Kutcher's 0 for 1. DJ Shockley, what are you?
If you guys just would have asked me, I could have got all those answers correct.
Of course.
I'm sitting here down on the 1-yard line with Kenyon Bonner. I saw that one, and he was down. You guys, I don't know, man.
Hindsight's 2020, buddy. Okay.
No, man, it's fun to watch it from this angle down here to see it, but you guys are over for the night already.
Let me
Good
ask
thing
you,
we have a second half to go.
Shock, if you were the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins in that situation, there's 4 seconds left before the half. It's 4th down. You're on about the 3-yard line. Are you going for it or are you kicking?
You got to kick the field goal. You go down and you do some really good things. You want points going into halftime. You want something to show for it, because if you don't get it, then it's kind of a downer for your whole unit. I don't mind the call, but if I'm playing myself and I'm the coordinator, I may go for it.
Jason Sanders kicking to Ito Smith, who's back deep, and that will sail through the end zone. Just a friendly reminder to check AtlantaFalcons.com daily for all things Falcons. All your official Falcons info is at AtlantaFalcons.com. 3 seconds to go here in this first half. I don't think we're going to see a play run here by Matt Schaub. I think he'll just take a knee and go into the locker room with his team up by 6. But then again, I've already been wrong a couple times. Hey, I'm right once. All right. What a good first half for the Falcons as they head into the locker room, leading the Miami Dolphins 19-13. What a first half for Matt Schaub. We'll be back after this short timeout. 19-13. That's the score as we get set to start the third quarter. Falcons on top of the Dolphins. Time for the Equifax Sideline Report. Let's check in with DJ Shockley.
Thanks, Justin. I had a chance to talk with Coach Quinn coming out of the halftime break, and one of the things he emphasized was they had too many fouls. He said they had 9 fouls, but 5 of them were in the red zone or in scoring situations. He also said he wanted to get the run game going in the second half, so expect to see a lot of the run game get going, and on both sides of the ball, get off the football and have some pace about yourself. For more with the Falcons, headed over to Jen Hale.
DJ, offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter thrilled with the progress he saw out of his O-line that half. He said not only were they down a lot of starters, but they also rotated a lot, and they took a huge step forward. Cutter told me, while he was all smiles, I know this O-line is going to be just fine come the regular season, and that is imperative. That was the Falcons' #1 off-season goal. Guys, for this next half, you're going to see Matt Sims, a backup quarterback who's only been with the Falcons for 3 days. So we'll see if his time with the team back in 15 and 16 before he got cut can pay off.
All right, thanks so much, guys, as Jason Sanders will kick off here for the Dolphins. Remember, they won the toss. They elected to receive to open this game. Ito Smith will come up to make the play at the 6, and Smith across the 20-yard line, and that's where Matt Sims will take over at the quarterback position. Sims was signed when Kurt Benkert went down on the IR with a toe injury. Benkert was 19 of 34, 185 yards and a touchdown in the Hall of Fame game against Denver. Sims, the 30-year-old, he starts this third quarter. Quadri Olesen will start in the backfield. First time we're seeing Olesen in this game. Olesen tries to change direction, still keeps those legs moving, and he's able to get a couple of yards here on first down.
Big back out of Pitt, one of just a few running backs to run for multiple 1,000-yard season for the Panthers. Kind of built in the same mold as a Brian Hill. He and Hill are in that competition for that second or third running back spot. He'll get a great opportunity here. You heard DJ say they're going to try to run the football, establish a ground game in the second half.
On second down and 8. Sims dumps it off to Olesen, and the flag is thrown. There are multiple flags there on the field. So many flags, every official has to get in on the action.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Ineligible receiver illegally downfield on the offense, number 61. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 53. Penalties offset, second down.
We'll redo second down. Chandler Miller was a guilty party for the Falcons. Adolphus Washington for the Dolphins.
Two plays in a row here. They went to Olesen, trying to get him activated in this offense that's been clicking all game so far. This looks like it might be a pass.
It's going to be a handoff to Olesen instead.
Olesen is in that mold of getting bigger, right, on the offensive side of the ball. They brought in those big linemen with more weight to them. This is a big physical back. The thing I like about him also, he can be effective in the pass game. He'll be a good pass protector if need be. Smart guy out of Pittsburgh, had earned 2 degrees while he attended Pittsburgh. So you know that the guy knows how to study, knows how to prepare, handle his business. We'll see if he can get some action moving on the field.
Well, we got some action moving early. That's going to be a false start. Another penalty not going to please head coach Dan Quinn.
False start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Adam Geddes. Really, if there's one area to complain about for the Falcons tonight, it's just been the penalties.
Yeah. Both sides of the ball.
Now on 3rd and 12. Sims overthrows the intended receiver, Olamide Zaccheaus, who had that great catch earlier in the first half. And so punting now for Atlanta. Bosher on to punt. It's going to be Trenton Irwin, the Stanford product, to return. Fair catch signaled and made at the right around 40-yard line. First series of the second half coming up for the Dolphins after this. Back here, 12:33 to go in this third quarter. 19-13 Falcons lead the Dolphins. Josh Rosen is back out there at quarterback. Speaking of quarterback, we've got one down on the sideline in DJ Shockley. He's joined by another quarterback. The starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan, will be going down there in just one moment as Mark Walton makes one player miss, and Walton a good run as we go right now down to Shock.
Matt, thanks for joining us, man. This is your 12th year. You just said it, man. Time flies, right? Talking about 12 years in this league, when you go back and you watch the tape, what are some things that you feel as though, hey, I can get better at this, or things that I want to work on going into this season?
There's always, little things that you pick up every year that you want to improve on. For me, it's about finding ways to keep myself as healthy as possible. My training has gotten better, but also finding ways to score more touchdowns. When we get chances in the red area, I've got to be better. We've got to be better as a team so that we're making the most of our opportunities.
Dirk Cutter comes over. You get Mike Mularkey back. Had Greg now for a while. Talk about that dynamic of having so many offensive geniuses in the room. How's that dynamic been going so far in the offseason, now heading to the season?
We've got a lot of former Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinators on the staff. It's fun to get those guys together. They all work really well together. I've learned a ton from all three of them, and I think it's going to help us. We're going to be a better football team for it.
You guys bring in a bunch of guys up front on the offensive line. TDDQ made a priority to protect Mr. Number 2 here. What has that been like as far as bringing in so many guys, drafting Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, Jamon Brown, Carpenter? I mean, you got a lot of depth now at that offensive line position. How has that been going so far in camp?
It's been great. The competition's been really good. I think when you build depth along the offensive line and defensive line. You make your team better. That's the fastest way to winning games is to win the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. So I'm fired up about it. I think our guys have done a great job, and I really appreciate DQ and Thomas making that a point of emphasis.
And before we let you go, we know your boys are getting bigger. Which one you think is going to play QB?
I don't know, man. Right now, we're working on just walking straight lines and stuff like that. So we'll get to that another day.
All right, man. You have a good year, man. Thanks for joining us, and send it back to Justin.
Walk before you run, right? Thanks to Matt Ryan for joining us here. Week 1 preseason. Matt Ryan did not dress for this game after we had thunderstorms earlier, right around 4:30, 4:45. The field was wet. Take every precaution possible. Make sure your star quarterback is going to be okay. We expect to see him next week in Atlanta when the Falcons host the Jets. Rosen here on 3rd and 6 for Miami. Rosen to the sideline. The one-handed catch by Preston Williams again. If he's not opening the eyes of his coach Brian Flores, he's opening the eyes of coaches all around the league.
Yeah, Kendall Sheffield right there in coverage, and you can see him battling for this ball all the way to the ground. That's actually exactly what you want to do as a defensive back, try to rip the pocket, but the strong hands by Williams, he has stood out big time tonight.
Mark Walton gets stuffed on 1st and goal from the 1.
What a quick snap there by the Dolphins offense, sprinting to the ball. That's something you see the New England Patriots do when it's a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1. They run up on the ball and they hike it right away and try to get a quarterback sneak or quick run up the middle. Falcons able to stand strong.
2nd and goal. Walton again gets hit in the backfield.
Stephon Anthony there coming off the edge. Good job by the interior of the defensive line. Again, forcing that running back to pat his feet, really know where to go, and here comes the speed off the edge. What's Stephon Anthony going to be able to do this preseason? He's in his 5th season out of Clemson. An outstanding career there. Really hasn't been able to show up much as a pro, but nice play there.
Chandler Cox now in at fullback. Walton trying to get outside, and Walton will get into the end zone. He had his fullback Cox blocking for him, and it's a touchdown for the Dolphins.
It looked again like Parker Baldwin, the safety there, who's coming down in tight end coverage at the right of your screen. You got to hold your contain. You're the last line of defense. You can see him get swallowed up there by the tight end. You got to be able to use your hands or your quickness to get to your run gap.
So a touchdown for Walton. He played his college ball here at Miami. And now the extra point for Jason Sanders to give Miami the 1-point lead. And that kick is good, so Miami now takes a 1-point lead with 8:09 to go here in this 3rd quarter. They stuffed him twice, couldn't stuff him a 3rd time. Walton in for the touchdown. Matt Ryan looking on as his team now trails by 1, 8:09 to go. Jason Sanders to kick off. Tony Brooks-James is back deep. And this will go into the end zone for a touchback. Let's take a look at our Toyota player profile featuring Falcons tight end, the Pro Bowler from last year, Austin Hooper.
There's a lot of cool up-tempo style plays that are a higher percentage chance for me to find some success and find football. So, I mean, from a tight end room perspective, I think I can speak for our whole group when we say we really enjoy the new offensive style.
He's a Stanford guy. Coy Wire, you're a Stanford guy. Last year, he was kind of the sleeper because of how much talent there is on the wide receiving group. He was the guy that we thought maybe would get a lot of touches in that red zone.
He's really one of the young stars in the league at his position, and you don't really hear that much about him because there are so many other big stars on the offensive side of the ball on this team, but he is a Pro Bowler. He's one of the most dangerous threats you have out of the tight end position from a receiving standpoint. He's with Matt Ryan almost every offseason, spending extra time together, have great trust from number 2 in Hooper.
By the way, you mentioned the tight end position. We'd be remiss not to mention Tony Gonzalez going into the Hall of Fame. And by the way, one of the guys he called out, he shouted out in his speech, Coy Wire. That was awesome.
It warmed my heart. One of my favorite teammates of all time. He's the one thing about Tony, we all know the football player he is, but he's a great character. He's always hungry to improve. Always reading a book, trying to better himself. Love everything about the way he approached the game, approached studying not just the game but life. Never content. That's what made him one of the greatest of all time.
He talked about you. He talked about Matt Ryan. He talked about this entire Falcons organization. There's the busts. Tony Gonzalez, a Hall of Famer with the Chiefs, with the Falcons. 3rd and 5 here for the Falcons. Sims, flag on the play. That's incomplete for Eric Saubert.
Legal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 30. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Chris Lamons. First-year player to South Carolina. So it's a first down here for the Falcons with 6:44 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Don't forget, for the 4th quarter, we will be joined by Thomas Dimitroff, the GM of these Falcons. We'll get his take. And I'm actually really excited about this because we get to talk to him week 1 and then again later in the preseason week 4. Just the whole process. It's Brooks James.
We're seeing a little bit of a letdown, obviously, here in the way the offense is moving the football. We have Sims out there at quarterback. Had a run there in the short-lived Alliance of American Football. He's out here right now, missing a couple throws. The protection up front isn't near what it was when Schaub was in the game. That's going to have an effect on the run game as well.
2nd down and 8. Rolling out, Sims. Being chased, Sims searching for that first down marker, and he's got it. He comes from a family of quarterbacks. His dad, obviously Phil Sims, the Super Bowl winning quarterback for the New York Giants. His brother Chris Sims played in the NFL, played his college ball at Texas, and of course now Matt.
I'm just learning that our statistician Ken must be a Giants fan because there was some fist pumping going on here when you said Super Bowl Giants, but Sims out here, a great effort on that last one there, sacrificing his body, potentially taking off running to get a first down for his team.
The bootleg. Again, Sims, now he dumps it off to Saubert. Second down coming up here for the Falcons. And yes, Ken Trevor, a very, very big New York Giants fan.
Saubert's getting some looks from Sims. You feel like that's his safety blanket, right? His binky, if you will. It's going to be your shortest throw on the field most of the times. He looks afraid to open it up. Earlier when Schaub was in the game, he's taking some shots downfield right now. Sims is kind of hitting his first read, and right now that's been Saubert.
On 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, take a shot now.
Sims gets hit hard. Ball comes loose. There is a flag. Dwayne Hendricks sacked Sims. And we'll have to wait to see what the call is going to be.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Yeah, he got rattled quite a bit here. I mean, he takes a hard hit, as you can see, and that ball comes out, and that's going to hurt in the morning when he wakes up.
The Falcons were able to recover. Now facing a third down, 3rd and 8. Sims able to hit the crossing pattern to Zacchaeus again.
Good awareness by Zacchaeus there. We'll see where they spot this ball, but for him to be able to stretch his arm out, he may have picked up that first down just barely. Doesn't look like they're going to give it to him, though.
Well, I mean, he is another one of those smart guys from Virginia. That's real close to that marker. Dan Quinn, Dirk Cutter saying, let's go for it. Let's test out this offensive line.
2 tight ends in the game, actually 3. Look in the backfield, lining up at fullback. You have Jaden Graham, tight end.
The handoff up the middle is Olesen, and Olesen does have the first down, but there is a flag.
Legal shift on the offense. 2 men were moving at the same time. Did not reset. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, that should take out the option of trying to go for it.
That's frustrating, right? This is an area for your football team you want to work on, you want to improve on, and they have shown signs of that tonight. And then here you go, you pick up the first down, and because of a penalty, you're going to have to end up punting in the end.
So Bosher will come on to punt. Trenton Irwin is back for the Dolphins at his own 10. Fair catch is made at the 10-yard line by Irwin with 3:19 to go. The Dolphins lead by 1 over the Falcons here in the 3rd. Back here in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, which is the host site of this year's Super Bowl number 54. 3:19 to go. Will the Falcons be in the Super Bowl here in Miami? Is this a test run for them?
Test run, and 7-9, if I'm not mistaken, was the last time, right? The season before.
Making that connection, huh? All right, let's go down to the field with Jen Hill for this Falcon story, brought to you by AT&T.
Justin, Kendall Sheffield is one of the speediest guys out here tonight, and indeed probably in the entire NFL. Back in high school, he won the 110 and 300-meter hurdles, and then was named the 2014 Texas High School Boys Track Athlete of the Year. He took that engine to Ohio State, turned pro scouts' heads. The Falcons then took him in the 4th, and now he's trying to earn a roster spot with that type of motor. Justin, coaches tell me they're determined to find a space for him on this roster, maybe punt returner, if not on defense as a corner.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this is a guy who, even Dan Quinn said to us, he's crazy fast. Can't wait for you to see him play. And oh, by the way, he could play nickel too.
Yeah, I mean, he can make an impact on special teams, right? Last week he had an impressive tackle on the kickoff team and a nice tackle on defense. He actually forced a fumble, so he has long arms and can really run and fly. They're going to find a way to keep him on this squad.
And we know he can hurdle. Patrick Laird on the handoff as we're coming up to 2 minutes to go here in this 3rd quarter. And back into the game is Kendall Sheffield.
Here comes the nickel. Defense onto the field. This is the type of guy with that kind of speed and burst, too. If you want to get him into some pressure situations off the edge on a short field, you can do that. Just so much you can do with that type of speed and athleticism.
2nd down and 7 here for Josh Rosen, who's played the bulk of the game here for the Dolphins. It's Laird up the middle. Laird gets hit from behind. A good play is made. Ryan Neal able to chase him down from behind.
Yeah, watch the interior of this defense. You see linemen getting up to the 2nd level onto the linebackers, and that all starts with your defensive front in the trenches. You cannot let your linebackers have an offensive lineman up in their lap. Here goes the quick snap again, trying to catch the Falcons off guard.
Laird went for 21 the previous run. Not going to go for that again as Sheffield forces him out of bounds. All right, I want to ask you, I want to ask Shock this question. As far as penalties and the way the game is going now, is we're seeing third stringers in there. We saw some great progress in the first half when Schaub was in at quarterback, the offensive line, what they did, the defensive line. As a team, how do your first and second teamers start picking up your third teamers? You have to answer it quick because we're going to be joined by the general manager in the next quarter. Play action. And the pass complete to the tight end, Clive Walford. So at 33 seconds, how do you do that? How do you kind of keep their spirits up and say, I know you're trying to make the team, but you got to play with discipline too?
Yeah, and that is controlling your emotions because these guys are out there. They know their careers are on the line. They're not auditioning just for the Falcons. There are 31 other teams out there that they're applying for a position for. Every play matters. Playing consistently, mistake-free is key, but you also want to make some sort of outstanding play to get noticed.
Rosen, final play of the quarter. Over the middle, goes right back to Walford, who makes the catch. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score, Miami 20, Atlanta 19, back after the short timeout.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football is sponsored in part by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Back here in South Florida, start of the fourth quarter. The Dolphins lead the Falcons by 1, 20-19. And the Dolphins have the ball here at their own 20. Rosen off the back foot. And this is going to be out of bounds as it was intended for Bryce Butler. We talked about him a lot. We told you he'd be here in the fourth quarter. We don't lie. The GM of the Falcons, Thomas Dimitroff. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you as always.
Appreciate. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Always enjoy.
Looking sharp as ever. So is the team. I mean, tell us your impressions of the first half.
Look, I really liked what our offense was doing. We were moving around the field. Of course, Matt Schaub, 38 and a half years old, moving it down the field to Gage. We were operating. I liked the way we were moving on the offense. Defensively, you saw it coming. You saw Dan Quinn 100% throwing his stuff around.
Yeah, you could see his identity being reborn here in that first half. Here they are creating another turnover. We had an interception in the first half. Got to be feeling pretty optimistic about the energy from that side of the ball.
Oh, the energy. You know, look at him. I mean, this guy, we are so happy that he's also the D coordinator and also the defensive end coach, as you know. But you can see it. I mean, you can just see what's going on here. They're twisting and they're doing all kinds of stuff, mixing it up, and I love seeing it. It's what we need this year.
We're going to get more on that when we come back, but a turnover here. The Falcons force their second of the game. He's the head coach. He's also the new defensive coordinator, and Dan Quinn is fired up after his defense has forced their second turnover of the game. As Olesen takes the handoff here for the Falcons. Again, we're talking with Thomas Dimitroff. You talked about the energy that Dan Quinn has already brought to the defense. We talked with him earlier today, and he mentioned the pressure that they want to get from the defensive line on the quarterback. We saw that early in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Dan talks about it all the time. You see him on the field, and he continues to press those guys. He's going to get the most out of them. Again, not only along the front, he's going to get it off the defensive ends. He's going to get it from the backers. We will be aggressive and creative this year on defense. There's no question about it.
Second down and 8. A big point of emphasis this offseason was addressing the offensive line as well. Your rookie, first-round pick, Chris Lindstrom, he was impressive in the time that he played so far tonight.
Man, I am really excited about him. I mean, he embodies what we're talking about. We bring in a guy who's a tough, gritty, fiery, passionate guy. And it doesn't matter. When he crosses the lines, he's such a mindful guy. When he crosses the line, he'll take on anyone. And if he does get beat, he has a recoverability to get back in, which is really, really impressive.
Yeah, you called me this preseason and said, in the draft were going offensive line. It was important to you. Part of that also was getting bigger along the front. What's the thought process behind that?
Yeah, our deal was we were going to not only play outside zone scheme, we were going to move inside a little bit more. We needed to up our weight. Instead of being the 305 average stuff, we needed to be in the 315 to 25 range. We have some good athletes along the offensive line. Brought on more girth, brought on a couple of free agents, of course, and then we drafted. And I told Arthur, I said, we will not be dissuaded because, to bring in the young guys. And I told him point blank, I said, we will bring in 2 of the 3 will be offensive linemen, and he was excited to hear that we weren't just pushing aside because we brought in free agents.
That's a good place to be, right? Skill position-wise, you're pretty set. You got perhaps the most talented set of skill position players in the league. Now you're able to build that offensive line. Also, on the other side of the ball, you made some changes there on the defensive line. They were getting a lot of pressure there with that first group that was trotted onto the field.
Look, I was really, really impressed with that, and we talked about that. If we went offensive line, we knew that we had an option to do something in free agency even later with Alan Bailey and Tyler Davidson, really important additions for us. So we feel it came all together for us as far as getting offense and getting defense that can help.
It seems, we said it earlier, but the first half was the best half of preseason football we've seen in over 2 years.
I agree. I just thought we were marching the ball. We were smart. Besides some of the focus penalties that happen and focus mishaps, that wasn't a matter of how these guys were playing. Some of the younger guys need to focus a little bit more, but we know how that goes, right?
Those mistakes are going to happen this year. It seems like the only real drive that the Dolphins had on the defense was self-inflicted wounds by the defense with the penalties. A little bit of sloppy play.
Jake Rudock is now in at quarterback for the Dolphins. But Thomas, just week 1, obviously there was a Hall of Fame game last week, but what are you looking for from the GM perspective when you have to cut this roster down? What are you looking for week 1 and then as this goes on to 3 and 4?
Well, look, I firmly believe we have a really talented group, and we are going to have to make some really difficult decisions on this team. So what I really want to do is I want to see the growth on some of the second-year guys. That's important. And we really need to see how the young guys are going to focus. And I love to see the swagger of the young guys. Dan Quinn is all about that, right? He doesn't expect guys to walk around, walking on eggshells because they're first-year guys. He's always pressing them to rise to the challenge, and I love that. That's so important.
And we saw that out of a guy we're seeing on the screen right now, John Kaminsky. I mean, for a guy to be young, to come out, he was a 210-pound dual-threat quarterback when he arrived at Charleston. Now he's a 260-pound monster, and he did not have that wide-eyed deer-in-headlights look. He's something special.
He is going to be a really interesting guy to watch for the years to come, I really believe. He is so driven and focused, and he's got such confidence. Very similar to Lindstrom, of course, first and fourth rounds. But you like to see what he's doing. You know that he's out there, and he will compete every play on the practice field. He's not backing down to anyone.
So, wait, Coy, you said he was a dual-threat quarterback going into college. He put on some weight. It sounds like you.
Well, I was never good enough to be or smart enough to be a quarterback. But yeah, this kid, very impressive last week, out there making the plays in this game as well. So it'll be fun to watch him and see how you can move him around with his athleticism, outside, inside, depending on the defensive package. Showing some young promise there.
We've also talked tonight about the coaching staff and the changes in the staff and all the former head coaches you have here. How did that all come about? And what was the conversation like with Coach Quinn saying, we're going to bring this guy, and we're going to work together?
First thing, the fact that we have Dirk Cutter and we have Mike Malarkey, 2 really mature individuals, 2 guys who know exactly what they're doing, was going to help Dan in his functioning as a coordinator. He had 2 guys who are going to take care of the offense for him. He could be the head coach and D coordinator. It's really, really important. And I love Dan's confidence, not to concern himself about that. It's something that we do. We both agree on the GM side. We've at one time had 5 GMs in our building. I love the fact that we both believe in bringing in the best people that we can bring in, and there's no insecurity about it. I think that's really important.
To me, that's an ultimate leader, right? When you're able to set aside your ego and you're going to have a room full of alpha males, right? Guys who've been head coaches in this league, but you set that ego aside and you say, you know what? No, I want the best leadership I can get in the building. It's going to help our team win. We're seeing some of that play out tonight.
Well, that insight not only for Dan as a head coach, but for some of the younger coaches, it's great. It's like they're in seminars all the time listening to these guys who have had a lot of experience. It's the same thing that I feel on the GM side. We have a number of guys in there. When we're in our scouting meetings, we're talking about things that these former GMs are talking about, and it's always learned. And I think that goes back to development. We as an organization are a development organization. We're always looking to develop everyone.
It's wisdom. It's over 400 years of coaching experience. When you combine all the coaches, they've seen a lot. They can see issues arise sometimes before they even happen. That's a good situation to be in.
1-point lead for Miami with 10.5 to go here in this fourth quarter. Again, we're speaking with the general manager of the Falcons, Thomas Dimitroff. By the way, I love what you said before. When you had the play on words with Arthur Blank and you made a blank, canvas or whatever it was, that was very good.
Good for you. I didn't know you picked it up.
I had to make sure I was listening. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, I've got the Stanford guy over here. I got to make sure I can stay with you guys.
It's important.
But no, this team right now, those decisions that you spoke about, those tough decisions, it's what you want, isn't it, as a GM, to have those tough decisions, because it means you've got depth?
No question. The depth that we feel we have on both sides of the ball, it's different this year, I believe, than other years. It's not like we weren't paying attention to it in other years, but I think we've had 2 really solid drafts in a row. I think have been very important. We've added certain people in free agency, so I love the fact that we have a receiving group. Like, it is really depth. I think our running back group as well, there are a lot of players there. Of course, along the D-line, there's going to be some tough ones. And, again, O-line wise, I just feel like all of those really important positions, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but good
situation. Yeah,
right?
And one person that's going to make it tough on you on the defensive side of the ball after tonight, Austin Larkin. I mean, out there showing some really impressive play. He's got athleticism in his DNA. His uncle, Barry Larkin, one of the best baseball players of all time. Cousin, Shane Larkin, first-round draft pick by the Hawks. He's out there very impressive.
Nice quick step, gets around the corner well with athleticism. We all know how important that is. He's not the fastest guy, but he plays fast.
And he has a great arm from shortstop. Oh, wait, that was Barry Larkin. Sorry. There he is, a couple of sacks. How about a topic that everybody wants to know about, Julio Jones?
What about Julio Jones? No, he's in a great spot. We're in a great spot. We continue to have our talks and negotiations, and I'm confident. I don't have the exact time on it. I'm not concerned about it. He's not concerned about it. And
what does it say about him as a teammate, though?
I was just getting ready to say, he was a teammate of mine, and what I love to see is that he has not changed with his humility. You see other players across the league, superstars, and they're in contract disputes. They're not at camp. They're not with their brothers. They're out being selfish, doing their own thing. Julio Jones, he's not exactly where he wants to be contractually, but he is where he needs to be, and that's with his team, and that's going to pay huge dividends in the end. May have to pay huge cash dividends. Arthur's on record now saying he will be the highest paid receiver in the league. I know you heard that.
No, I think, we've talked about that. That's not a mystery. He will be, and we know that. It's just a matter of where it's all going to land, and as you know, get a little creative there and see how it is. Yeah, I think it's around the corner, of course, and he'll be happy with what he gets.
And well-deserved.
There's a touchdown by Myles Gaskin from Jake Rudolph. 26-19, 8:18 to go. Thomas, we really appreciate you stopping by here week 1. We look forward to the rest of this preseason. And you're going to have some tough decisions because you have put together a really, really deep roster that's fun to watch.
Thanks for having me, guys. As always, I appreciate guys who know something about football, and you guys do.
Well, thank you so much.
In the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah. It'll be a fun one.
Appreciate you.
Thomas Dimitroff, the GM of the Falcons, joining us here in the booth for this fourth quarter. And now the extra point for Jason Sanders to make it 27-19. And this kick is good. 8:18 to play here in the fourth. Again, a special thanks to Thomas Dimitroff joining us here as the Falcons trail. 8:18 to play here in this fourth quarter. It's now 27-19, Miami over the Falcons. Back deep for the Falcons to return is Tony Brooks-James. Off the kick from Jason Sanders. And Brooks-James will not get a chance to return this one. Let's take a look at tonight's Nissan game changer. It is Damontae Kazee. A guy in his rookie season played 16 games, had one start, couple of forced fumbles, and last year started 15 games, 7 interceptions, tied for the most in the NFL with Kyle Fuller and Xavier Howard. This is a guy who, when they get everybody else back in that secondary, the guys like Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, just going to make it that much better.
The thing that I love about him, he has this athleticism. He's quick, he's explosive, he's got great instincts for playing the football. But I love his mindset. He thinks he's Cam Chancellor or one of these big bruising safeties out there. He's not afraid of anything or anyone. He'll lay it all on the line for his team. Really fun to watch.
That pass was intended for C.J. Wharton. It was incomplete. No doubt that you're seeing some rust from Matt Sims.
Yeah, and you have to kind of think a big picture as well, because what's in front of him? It's not that offensive line that we came out and saw Matt Schaub being protected by so well. There's some holes up there right now. He's not being able to get his feet set. He's being pressured a little bit more, so you have to call that into play as well.
Forced out of the pocket. On the run, able to throw back across his body, but it's dropped by Wharton right there.
And this was an outstanding job by Sims. I mean, he didn't have anyone open initially. He buys himself some time, rolls out of the pocket, and he finds an open receiver. That catch needs to be made.
And there is a flag on the play.
Holding. Defense, number 40. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Nick Needham, second time he's been called for a penalty.
I want to ask DJ, I mean, you've been in that position. You're always fighting for a backup spot. DJ, what's that like when you're out there and you don't have your first team offensive line protecting you?
I'll be honest, it's kind of tough because you want to do some good things. You want to put some good stuff on tape, but sometimes it breaks down and you have to do a little bit extra. But the thing coaches want to see is you doing your job and not trying to do too much, and knowing that, hey, you may not have the #1 offensive line or the top receivers that you work with. The object is to do your job, and then everybody else should follow suit. As a quarterback, you got to make sure you get all other 10 players on that other side of that side of the ball playing at a high level. And at the end of the game, I was in this part of the game a lot of the time, and the main focus was us was just to get first downs, take care of the football, and put good things on tape.
You got to make sure you have your keys, and then everything else can go into place.
Yeah, never forget your keys. It's the foundation for everything.
Tony Brooks-James in the backfield here on 2nd down and 6. Sims over the middle completes this pass to Khalil Lewis, who loses the helmet. So we mentioned some of the injuries from some of the guys from last year. And we expect to see some of them back. Devontae Freeman, Keanu Neal. I mean, these guys, we were told they could see some snaps next week when they're back at home in Atlanta against the Jets.
Yeah, Coach Quinn told us Freeman, Neal, and Rico Allen likely to be back next week. We'll see what kind of energy, additional energy they bring to the field when they step on it.
Olsen able to dodge one tackler, gets knocked out right around the first down marker. There's Devontae Freeman. Can he stay healthy for the full year? That's going to be a huge key for this team.
Yeah, a couple of huge seasons, and then dating back to 2016, though, since then he's really had a tough time staying on the field, and it's part of how he is and who he is, his internal makeup, right? He is so aggressive. He is so angry when he runs. He's putting a beating on others, but he also takes a beating at times as well. They're really taking time to make sure he gets back to full health before he steps back out on the field, but he does look as strong as he ever has. He's really hit it hard in the weight room, so it's showing up in the way he cuts, the way he's moving on the football field. When he does come back, look out. It may be the best version of Devontae Freeman we've ever seen.
And let's not forget this. He's stronger than he's ever been. He looks great. He's moving well. And oh, by the way, he has that new offensive line to run behind.
Yeah, I mean, they got bigger up front. They're still athletic. They're still going to be able to run the stretch zone to the outside. But now, as you heard Dimitroff say, they have more heft on the inside. They're going to be able to run it right between the tackles much more than they have in the past few years, and that's really where Devontae Freeman shines. I mean, he can run to the outside in the stretch zone, but when he gets going downhill, he's a serious problem for the defenses because he's so elusive, so quick, and he can get up on you in a hurry.
3rd down and 3 with 5:43 to go. This is 2-down territory right now at the 33. Also, if you're gambling, it's a good time to make a wish. 3rd and 3 from the 33.
It looks like the Dolphins are going to be in man-to-man coverage. They're pressed on the outside. Look for the
handoff here to Brooks James. And Brooks James has the first down, lowers that shoulder, delivers the blow. A good run there by Tony Brooks James.
Really good vision on his part. His footwork was to take him up inside initially. He saw the outside and took it in a hurry. Nice stiff arm there to buy him all those extra yards after contact. Finished with a physical run. That's a good look for him.
1st and 10 now from the 15. And Quadri Olesen is back in at tailback. Olesen gets a first down to the end zone. Olesen, touchdown.
Offensive line executed outstandingly. Harlow in there getting to the 2nd level, cutting off the backside linebacker. Here you're going to see these blocks really open up a nice run lane, but look at this, finding the open space for a big back like that. This is impressive, right? To be able to run away from a safety coming downhill at you, that's a good look. This is a guy who runs angry and very impressive run there.
2-point game, going for a 2-point conversion to tie it up here. Olesen in the backfield. Wharton in motion.
Dolphins playing zone.
Wide open is C.J. Wharton for the 2-point conversion, and we're tied at 27.
Let's take another look at this 2-point play. Dolphins are playing zone, and this is what Dirk Cutter's offense could do. The misdirection, the motion come from the opposite side of the field. You have 3 runners like Olesen run up in there. This was a good drive for the Falcons.
Back here in Miami off the kickoff, it is Myles Gaskin. And Gaskin a good return now in a tie game here for the Dolphins. Olesen, that great 15-yard touchdown run, the 2-point conversion. We're all tied up at 27 with 4:35 to go.
What a great situation to be able to gauge where some of your younger players are. First, you're going to have a 4-minute defensive opportunity here. Can you get the stop? And then on the flip side, can you take it down the field and score?
The handoff to Patrick Laird. And Laird, the rookie out of Cal. It's taken down, which makes Coy Wire happy. The Stanford-Cal rivalry runs deep.
Yes, it does. It's a heated rivalry indeed. The thing that just jumped out to me on that play, though, Austin Larkin's still in the game and still making plays. He's at the top of your screen along the defensive line now.
Austin Larkin, number 62. Empty backfield now as Laird goes in motion. Rudock stepping up, throws to the sideline, completes the pass to Saeed Blacknall. That's good for a first down now as they move it down to the 45-yard line. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining.
This is late in the game here. You got to remember, it's hot, it's humid. These players are playing special teams and offense or defense. They're really tired, so you're going to see who has the heart and determination.
Laird, great job on the containment there, and Delshon Phillips makes the tackle. Elshawn Phillips, the rookie out of Illinois. A loss of 5, 2nd down and 15.
You can see Deidre Sanat there. Look how heavy he's breathing right now. I mean, this is a long night. He's gotten a lot of reps.
Oh, nearly an interception. Hamp Cheevers could have gone the other way. Oh, was that close?
I mean, that is one you're going to lose sleep over. He's going to watch this back and say, how did I not bring that football in? That's going to the house. That's a game winner. You're celebrating for the rest of the night. Now he's losing sleep.
Now it's 3rd and 15. The defense trying to get the offense the ball with 3 timeouts remaining. Rudock chased. Rudock throws this one away. He's out of the pocket. He was pressured by Chris Odom, who's had himself a good game. And so now with 3:05 to go, they force the punt, and it gives Sims an opportunity here. They could start with pretty good field position. Zacchaeus is going to be the return man. Olamide Zacchaeus, his first return of the night.
He put 1 punt return catch attempt on the ground last week. Secure the ball first, and then let's see if you can go make another play like you already did in the past game.
He's trying to tell everybody to clear out of the way. This takes a Dolphins bounce. It's going to be down right around the 15-yard line with 2:53 to play. Can the Falcons make the comeback complete here in Miami?
Heck of a game.
Matt Ryan is usually the orchestrator of a fourth-quarter comeback, but now he is watching as Matt Sims will try to complete the task. 27-27 with 2:53 to go here in the fourth. Sims takes the shot over the middle. It's incomplete, and there is no flag. The pass was intended for Khalil Lewis. And that was very close to being targeting or hitting a defenseless receiver.
Looked to me like he was actually going for the football here at first, but he definitely was beating up the receiver there. Could have been a flag.
It was not, so instead it's 2nd down and 10. This pass is complete this time to Christian Blake, one of the receivers that Dan Quinn mentioned to us, who's looked good in camp. It's going to be 3rd and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. You think they want to win this? You just see Matt Ryan right there.
No, he's in it. He's in it. I mean, the guy who since 2010 ranked 2nd in the league in fourth-quarter comebacks, he's invested right now. He wants to see how these younger guys can step up.
Sims gets sacked on 3rd and 4. And now they can let this one wind all the way down to the 2-minute warning, and then Miami will get the ball back after a punt. 27-27, all tied up with 2 minutes to go. We are back here at Hard Rock Stadium. It is 4th and 9 at the Falcons 16, and the offense is still on the field after the sack on Matt Sims. So 2 minutes to go, and Dan Quinn and the Falcons are basically saying, you know what? We're going to be in a situation this year where we have to go for it in this situation. Let's try it right now. What do we have to lose?
Dan Quinn's 0-9 in his preseason career here. Clearly, he doesn't care about a W.
Sims is pressured, and he is sacked. Dwayne Hendricks. And that will turn things over and give Miami the ball at the 7-yard line.
This is the worst feeling, right? Your coach is gambling, going for it, and then it's your guy to give up the sack with the game on the line. Quinn out there wanting to show his guys, look, we're just going to go out here and play football. This is preseason. We're here to work on our stuff. Didn't work in his favor that time.
3 timeouts remaining for both teams. Rudock under center. Miles Gaskin, the tailback.
Still a lot of time on the clock. 3 timeouts left for Atlanta.
And they're going to take the first. And time now for the play of the game presented by the North Georgia Honda dealers. It was that run by Kenyon Barner earlier in the game when it looked like it was off this pass. And look what he does. Breaks some tackles, uses that speed, thought he got into the end zone. They overturned it. He was down the half-yard line.
So many great plays of this game. That was certainly one of them. Again, they brought him in thinking he's going to be a steady force for their return game potentially, and then be able to contribute at the running back position. Good signs there, but we've had some incredible plays, right? Matt Schaub looks sharp, throwing the ball all over the field with accuracy and some incredible catches as well. Being a defensive guy, I would have liked to put Jermaine Grace's interception on there to play the game, but no one asked me.
2nd and goal. Gaskin again. Gaskin to the end zone. Touchdown, Miami.
That'd actually be what you want, right? Let them score quickly. Give yourself time to go down and tie it up. Two timeouts left now for the offense. They've been struggling protecting the quarterback past couple of drives. They're going to have to do that if they don't want any chance to move the football down to tie this game back up.
On for the extra point is Jason Sanders. That's a good job by the holder, Matt Hawk, to get that ball down there. And it's 34-27, 1:47 to go. Still two timeouts remaining for the Falcons. But Shock, want to get your thoughts on what has transpired so far tonight.
I thought the team came out and fought for a majority of this ball game. Obviously, in the first half, you went out and you put together some good drives on both sides of the ball, played really strong. But I think in the second half is where DQ really is going to put a lot of focus, because if you look at it, this is where his team is going to be made with depth. We saw it last season. When guys go down, you need other guys to be able to step in and be able to play good football. In the second half, you saw some guys who maybe not ready for that role yet, and he's still searching. So the second half, I think it's going to be a main focus for DQ. But overall, you saw a lot of fight out of his team tonight.
Well, back deep, hoping for a chance to return is Tony Brooks-James. Jason Sanders will kick it off. Will Brooks-James get a chance to return? And wait, watch this one. This is going to go through the end zone. And it'll be a touchback. Jen, how about you? What have you taken away from being down there?
Justin growth, and that's what you want in preseason. You want to get a little bit better each and every game. Definitely a better game, a better first half here than what we saw in the Hall of Fame game. And listening in on the player huddles, listening to how they're talking to each other and communicating. They're a team. They've gelled. They've bonded. They're giving advice. You see the veterans down here on the sideline tutoring up the rookies. You see Matt Schaub thanking his offensive line and telling them how much they mean to him. That's the type of thing that is going to carry you through a regular season.
Sims on first down goes towards the sideline, completes the pass to Jaden Graham. With 2 timeouts remaining, you would think they would try to work the sidelines, preserve those timeouts. 2nd down and 2 after the 8-yard pickup.
They've really been struggling to protect Sims here when you need some extra time to hit some of those longer progressing routes, especially out towards the sidelines.
Brooks-James is lined up outside as a receiver. They go near side instead to C.J. Wharton, who picks up the first down. And they got to go hurry up. 2-minute offense here. From the 41. Sims pumps. And that is dropped by Tony Brooks-James.
Sims' stats aren't going to look the greatest at the end of the night, but there has been quite a few drops. I mean, he's put the ball right where it needs to be on several occasions, and receivers just not hauling them in. So something to consider when that stat line comes out at the end of the game.
The clock did stop on the incompletion, so 1:18 to go. Still with those 2 timeouts remaining. Sims with time over the middle, completes this pass. It's Khalil Lewis, and now you're going to want to use one of those timeouts. How about the pickup by Quadri Olison, though? The running back on the pressure.
Yep, they're going to be on the ball here. Quick snap. They're not going to use one of their timeouts just yet.
Sims. That's incomplete. There is a flag on the field. We'll wait for the call, but you love to see that from a running back, being able to pick up that lineman coming right at the quarterback and the pass protection from the running back.
Holding. Defense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Keep on moving down the field. It was Hendricks who had the sack on 4th down that put Miami in good field position to go ahead by a touchdown.
You know, for a preseason game, it's been sloppy.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of penalties, but there have been a lot of exciting plays, and it's coming down to be quite an interesting ending as well.
From the 26 of Miami. Sims over the middle. It's incomplete for C.J. Wharton. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, Wharton running the seam route there. Sims might want to have that one back and try to put it a little more on the money. Tried to keep it high just in case that defender were able to turn, and maybe you got a bit nervous about giving up a good opportunity to score here at the end of the game. Still 2 timeouts remaining.
Sims takes the shot. No receiver there. He thought Sean Bain would be there. Bain was going to the sideline. Now 3rd down coming up. Again, they still have both timeouts.
Really impressive, though, right, with Sims just coming in after Bankert gets injured, and he's out there putting together a decent drive with not the best protection early when he came into the game, but really now is the opportunity to make something truly special happen.
You don't need to get all 10 yards here. Sims gets taken down. It is Dwayne Hendricks again. And that forces the Falcons to call a timeout. They've got 1 remaining. As we look around the NFL for preseason week number 1. Other scores. Buffalo. You know something about Buffalo, don't you?
Yeah, they're the team that drafted me. 6 years in the NFL, playing up there, get a good win for them as well.
Giants beating the Jets 31-15. They had a weather delay. The Redskins, how about Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns? Are they a team that can live up to the hype?
And they obviously got quite a bit of star power now on the offensive side of the ball, and some talent on defense as well. A lot of people expecting them to make a strong push to make the playoffs.
4th and 9. And now a timeout will be called by Miami.
Miami, first charge of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Well, Brian Flores coaching his first game as a head coach. Taking no chances. It's not the regular season, but he still wants to win. Dan Quinn looking for his first preseason win.
DJ, how impressive has it been for Sims just to even be able to go out there and run this offense at all, just coming in this week?
I mean, to be able to get up to speed this fast and be able to play at a game speed is pretty awesome to watch, and he's got a big time opportunity right here on 4th down.
4th and 9. And there was movement
In the slot, didn't get set, kind of stumbled.
Ball start, offense, number 87, 5-yard penalty.
You either got to keep moving or get set. He was kind of in a no man's land there. I think he said 87, yeah. And so now you're finding yourself in a 4th and 14. I don't know how much it is going to change what you were trying to do to him anyway. It's still a long way to go regardless. 32 seconds left. You have one timeout, so no need to have to try to force it to the sidelines.
Sims unloads, and this is incomplete, intended for Devin Gray, and there defending it was Jalen Davis. A good job by Davis, turning at the right time, knocking it away, and that will allow the Dolphins to take a knee.
Not coming away with a W tonight, but overall I think you got to be feeling pretty good about what you saw in the first half of this football game, which was made up of some of your starters and a lot of the guys who are going to be your backups for that oh so important depth. Both sides of the ball, the line, very impressive.
The final score tonight, Miami 34, Atlanta 27. For Coy Wire, DJ Shockley, and Jen Hale, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long for now from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Join us next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the Falcons preseason network when the Birds welcome the New York Jets to beautiful Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football has been sponsored in part by SunTrust. Confidence starts here. Georgia Power. There's power inside every fan. Visit georgiapower.com/community to learn how we power Georgia forward. Emory Healthcare, the official team healthcare provider of the Atlanta Falcons. And locally by Southeast Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places.